In this video, I will show you how to hang peel and stick wallpaper on your walls. And most importantly, I'll tell you what to do and what not to do when you DIY with this product, because that's more important. I'm so glad I recorded the entire process of hanging this wallpaper on my own, and this was done in December of 2020, which is almost a year and a half ago. What I also recorded was my reaction and my thoughts immediately after hanging this paper. So here I'm using this damask pattern peel and stick wallpaper from Asian Paints. It's from the Easy Create range. This is available in Flipkart. I'll put a link in the description. So this is what I'm using on the entire wall at the back.
I've never used peel and stick wallpaper before, so the first thing I'm going to do is read the instructions. So it says clean the surface of the wall and then measure the height of the surface and then cut wallpaper 3 inches more than the surface height. Peel and stick, start from the bottom, start from the top and move to the bottom. Use a dry cloth or spatula to lose the bubbles. Press the edges firmly and repeat step 4 and 5. For the next one, align the second strip with the first with an overlap of 1 inch for design continuity. Follow the same for the remaining areas covered. So always read instructions, because most of the time people don't read instructions and then they're stuck. So I have never used peel and stick wallpaper on a wall. I've used it on furniture, I've used it on little things, but never on this scale. So I don't really know what to expect, but I'm going to give it a shot and see how it goes. So what I will do is I'll probably do 2 panels starting from the right and see how it goes, and you know, depending on the experience that I have with it, then I'll share a small tutorial. Let's get started.
How cute was that? I shot this video on the SJ Cam Strike, which is an action camera. So that audio was without a mic, but when I had little to no knowledge of shooting or editing videos. Here I am starting the first one. Looks fairly easy, and the fun part was we didn't have a ladder back then to work with. And also, if you see, the bed and the color of the side table is slightly different. That is because I went with a green first, then it was too green, and I had to actually not water it down, add white and mellow it down, and then I painted the bed first, and then I said, okay, this green works. So then in the final reveal video, you'll see that the bed side tables are green.
So I managed to put up 2 panels. The first one, of course, was the hardest because the wall's not straight, and I've tried to put it as close as possible. And if you see, when it goes down, it's a little overlapping on the other wall. But all in all, it looks good. The second panel was even more difficult because the edges have to line up, the patterns have to line up. I don't know if you can notice, but there is a little inconsistency on top. But for a first timer, it's pretty impressive. So this is where the pattern meets, and I think I've done a pretty decent job there. And I have 8 more panels to put up. So let's see how that goes.
The best part of putting wallpaper around the window frame is that you can do it in small pieces and you don't have to struggle with the entire sheet.
I've completed all of the large panels, and I was waiting till I got to the bottom of the window so that I can share with you the tutorial on how I manage the others. So it's easier to have like a smaller piece to manage and shoot than me hanging off the ladder and trying to show you a tutorial. So here, if you see, I'm trying to match the pattern, and the instruction says that you will have to overlap it by an inch. So overlap it by an inch. It's definitely not a one-person job. You will need another person's help to get this going. But yeah, if you're crazy like me, then go ahead. So yes, if you see, I've matched the patterns as much as I could. Now, I realized that this is quite a forgiving pattern because there's so much of curves and everything going on. So even if I miss it, your eye is not going to catch it. So it's kind of a repetitive pattern, which is quite forgiving. So if you're working with lines, then you have to be double careful of making sure that you are matching your pattern exactly. So now that I've matched the pattern, I'm going to hold one place down, and without, now like I said, this is a 2 people job, so if you are doing it all on your own, it's going to be quite a circus. So I'm going to peel this off, and you want to have enough so that you can pull from either sides. Yeah? And slowly push this. If you see, I'm holding it very, very still so that it doesn't move. And the glue is quite strong, so it's going to stick quite well. I'm going to peel it a little more so I can handle it better. Oof, like I said, if you can get help, please get help. Don't try and struggle on your own. Ah, come on. So there it is. So quick check if my patterns are still matching, and then I slowly dab down the top. Now this is quite secure here. Now I'm going to slowly peel it down. You'll need an old cloth of some sort so you can push it down and use both hands to peel. If you see, the patterns aren't matching as well that I'd held them off. That's why I say it's a 2-person job and not a 1-person job. But if you look at the overall scheme of things, the pattern is quite forgiving. And then you take a sharp knife and trim the excess.
I realize peel and stick wallpaper is really thin and you'll need to handle it very carefully. Otherwise, if you cut it the wrong way or pull it a little harder, it could simply rip off. So make sure that your blade is going all the way along and don't try to pull it by making a small incision. Next, it was time to clean up. and get the room ready for the night. If you have super ugly Sunmica or laminate cupboards and you hate them, then peel and stick wallpaper can be a very easy and affordable solution to cover them. With normal wallpapers which are stuck with glue, which are installed by professionals, there is no 1-inch overlap to match the pattern. They just match the pattern directly wallpaper to wallpaper and then stick it really close to each other so it looks seamless. In this one, there is a 1-inch overlap, but you can't really notice it once you line up the pattern and stick. But yes, you can make out a slightly thicker band of pink if you see carefully, which is the overlap there. Styling is, I think, the most wonderful part of being a DIYer, a home decor DIYer. And this is how it looked all done up. I look absolutely pleased with what I've done. Let's see what immediate feedback I had at that point.
Yeah. So here are a few things that I think I would do differently. Before that, would I do it again? Yes, I would. With the learnings that I've learned from hanging a peel and stick wallpaper for the first time. One, it's definitely a 2-people job. It was quite a struggle for me to do it alone. Of course, I couldn't expect to call anybody during this time, and the husband's been busy. So it's definitely a 2-people job. For me alone, it took, I think, 4 days to complete. I put up one panel after the other. The first one was definitely difficult, considering that our walls are not straight and everything is not square. The second was even difficult, but then I got the hang of it, and then the rest of the panels were quite easy. So get a friend or one other person to do it if you're planning to attempt. 2, use a level. This is something that I tried after putting probably 5 or 6 panels. I realized that our Indian walls are not as square and straight as abroad. So since it's brick and mortar, they tend to be a little slanting. So there are going to be errors. In fact, there are a lot of errors. I can see in several places the pattern is not matching as well as it should, but unless I point it out to you saying this is where I've goofed up, you wouldn't know. So that's my second learning. It's that use a level, very important. I think it would have been a lot more easier if I was doing like a half wall situation, but since I chose to do the entire wall, it was quite a struggle. 3, I would say don't be in a rush. So trying to finish the project is going to make it even more frustrating. So I took my time and did one panel at a time. I think considering the top ones, I put up close to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 panels I had to put up, including the top and bottom of the window. And if it's going to be like a quick thing, and you're doing it for the first time, I would say have time at hand. Otherwise, you'll be frustrated. Then, what else? This is quite a nice damask pattern, and because it has a lot of curves, and you don't really miss that the patterns are not matching at places unless I point it out. So if you are working with something that has triangles or lines, you better spend some extra time and match those lines. 4, I would say use both your hands to peel, because the sheet at the back is quite flimsy. So if you tug a little harder, they tend to tear. So using both hands means you're peeling the back paper quite evenly, as opposed to peeling with one hand. So use both hands to peel, and then use your hand to smoothen it out. I think that's about it. It looks stunning, and I'm going to enjoy it.
One thing that this smiling Preethi of 2020 did not know was that the glue of the wallpaper is really strong, and in case you have to peel it out, there is a good chance that the putty from the wall is going to peel off with it. So this is not a renter friendly option if you are not going to spend the money later on after uninstalling it. But one thing I can tell you that it is an absolutely stunning place, and I love my bedroom more because of this wallpaper. So no regrets on that one. I hope you enjoyed this video and my learnings. And if you like my content, please subscribe because I have a lot of content planned for you. See you again.